Did you guys talk to KZ Akpala today?
We did.
What was there any? Did you anything to take away from that? I mean, was his shooting brought up with him or lack thereof?
Um, no, because look, I don't think KZ Okpala thinks he's a bad shooter. He just hasn't he hasn't shot. So, but you can't go out there and play 18 minutes and have one shot because that just means that the other team is playing 4 on 5 on that end. And that extra guy, I guarantee you, I know exactly where that extra guy was. He was sitting on Sabonis's hip and beating the living tar out of him. And so you just can't have that. And I think he knows that. But he also knows that, his real job is to go out there and play defense. And there's got to be some sort of happy medium that they find between him playing defense and him, becoming an offensive liability, which, that's what you don't want. And if he's cutting and he's moving, that's fine. But he has to actually, at some point, he has to actually try to shoot shots and space the floor. So again, that's where I think that, even like the interview was, KZ Akpala is slowly getting more comfortable with the media, which has been an issue so far, just because he's super quiet and
I'm
he
sure
gives
he's
us
never done it before.
yeah, he gives us like 3 word answers, but I think he's getting a little bit more comfortable, and I also think he's a lot brighter than he lets on. Then he's a kid who got into Stanford, and not many people get into Stanford, and he's a guy who got in, and I think he's playing. He doesn't want to talk to the media a little bit, and he's not used to it, and he's not comfortable with it. So we're getting sort of this weird version of him early on.
Um, we saw, I think it was the Lakers preseason game. Like KZ shot, like he looked to. I don't want. It's not like that he was aggressive, but like he looked to get his shot there a couple of times. I wonder, looking back, and this was not something that I was paying super close attention to. I wonder if it was something he passed up. Like, did he pass up looks to try to find something else? Did the ball not come to him in scoring position, or did he just not look to get actively involved in the offensive end? I'm not really sure. I'm curious how Mike may choose to address that, though, because clearly, if the Keegan Murray era is approaching, it's not tomorrow. It's okay. I'll rephrase that. It's almost certainly not tomorrow.
Yeah, well, it might be. Well, we'll have to wait and
That would
see.
be a unique turn of events if it's tomorrow, but sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, I when I was watching, I thought that there's 1 or 2 times where I thought KZ didn't take a shot. Outside of that, that must mean that he's not moving enough. He's not used to playing off the ball like that. I mean, he's used to playing off the ball, but he's not again used to playing with a guy like Sabonis. So I don't know if he wasn't active enough. I'd have to go back and watch the whole game and kind of see
Yeah.
those 18 minutes and pencil it out. But I also think this. You mentioned in that Lakers game he looked good. I'm getting the feeling that the Lakers aren't any good.
You know,
I'm
uh,
getting that feeling that they just aren't very good.
that might that might be accurate.
It might be. Yeah.
There's a lot of evidence mounting to
Their
support.
backcourt go 1 of 19 from the field and 1 of 12 from three.
Um,
Oof.
no, it was one of 25. Well, once you factor in Kendrick Nunn, who
Okay.
was off the bench, was 0 of 7.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh
So,
yes. So 1 of 18. Yeah,
yep, and then
from the field.
oh yeah, it is bad.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not great, Bob.
It's not. It's not. But you know what, James? That's not our damn problem.
It's not.
That's not our
It's
problem.
not.
Uh,
Yeah, but you know what? Look, I think the Kings are going to be in a battle with those guys because I still think there are 4 teams that don't really care about winning at all, and the Lakers do care about winning, which is whether
yeah.
or not they can win.
Well, that's
And
been debated. That's been
yeah,
that's been debated over the last couple of days.
yeah, and I think it's going to be the same with the Kings.
Does whether everyone in the Lakers uniform cares about winning and losing
Yeah,
seems to be a source of discussion within Lakers world.
yeah, and I think with the Kings, we're going to have to wonder the same thing: can they win? Because
Yeah.
they have a very difficult schedule, and you got to worry about the team that's next, and that's what Mike Brown keeps focusing on. And we're not even looking at Sunday; we're just looking at Saturday night's game against the Clippers. But you look at the first 5 to 10 games of the season, this could get dark really quick, and then they'll be, trying to dig themselves out of a hole all season. That's a possibility. And whether they can do that or not, we don't know yet. But I kind of like the direction they're going coming out of camp. But you're running into a buzzsaw, so let's see how you react.
I think Sunday's game goes one of two ways. Kings still a win, or the Warriors beat the holy hell out of them. And they smile at Mike Brown with like your welcome back to the NBA, coach, and give him one of those deals.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I also like if you look at the Clippers too. The Clippers may or may not have Kawhi. It sounds like Kawhi won't play on back to backs, but we don't know which game in the back to back. And what's playing to the Kings' advantage is that they play them on Saturday, and then of course the Clippers go home, and that's their home opener on Sunday. And so
Oh,
it's possible they may hold Kawhi out for their home opener as opposed to hold him out against the Kings. And yeah, so like I think it's gonna be interesting. I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see. And like, are the Warriors gonna be the Warriors early in the season, or are we gonna have to wait a handful of games? I get the NBA didn't want to suspend Draymond Green, but I still can't believe that the NBA hasn't stepped in. And for game one, I get it because they have the ring ceremony, and Mike Brown will get his ring on Sunday. But how does the league allow one of its players to hit another player in the face in practice and not have a league mandated suspension? I don't care what the Warriors want to do. I mean, sure, the Warriors could have handled it in house, but they didn't. Like, how is it that you're just going to allow Draymond Green to get away with that? That doesn't make any sense to me.
I guess. I mean, I guess the simple answer is the NBA doesn't mandate that stuff.
No, it does. I mean, it's their player. So, what does that mean? That I mean, again, we talk about legal precedents in the past, right? Well, what does that mean if Chimezi Metu decides he wants to haul off and hit Alex Lynn in the face? The league isn't going to step in and do something? Like, what do you like?
No,
Where?
Kings would, and my guess is Alex Lynn would. So I
Well,
strongly
of
advise
course, but
Metu not to do that.
but you understand what I'm saying. I'm saying,
No, I just
like,
I do, but I guess it's at the forefront of my mind the Aaron Donald thing at the joint practice where people were calling for him to be suspended for swinging a helmet around, and the NFL essentially was like practice, like we don't suspend players for what they do at practice.
we don't regulate practice.
We don't.
Yeah, but that's not what the NBA has ever
I
been
don't
about.
disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. It's just I don't. I don't know. This whole thing with him is weird. I don't think he's going to be super consequential in this game on Sunday. I think there are far more greater players of consequence than him. And with or without Kawhi, I mean, John Wall ate up the Kings twice last season, and he was very good last night. And I think he's going to be very good this season. I think he's going to be a great piece for the Los Angeles Clippers. And I think the bench unit, I think the Davion's got his work cut out for him because that second unit for the Clippers, if I'm gonna let's operate as if Kawhi is playing. That bench unit for Los Angeles, even without Kawhi, that's a good second unit, and
Yeah.
there can't be any fall off there for Sacramento. Like Davion's going to have to be on point on both sides of the floor, and if Keegan is available, he's going to have to, they're going to have to produce.
Yeah,
Last night there was no big scorer for the Clippers last night. They were just
everyone.
steady. Yeah, they were just steady across the board.
Yeah, I mean their bitch unit: John Wall, Nick Batum, Robert Covington, Luke Kennard, and Terrence Mann and Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, that's
Luke
stacked.
Kennard, I think, shot well last night.
Yeah, Luke Kennard's a good ball player. He shot 3 of 3 from three, 4 of 6 from the field, had 11 points off the bench. Kawhi had 14 off the bench. Sean Wall had 15 off the bench. Again, their bench was really strong, and their leading scorer was 15, but they had 2 guys scoring 15 and 3 guys scoring 14. Sort of that, they're coming at you from all angles. I'll also point out, like, look how bad of a game the Lakers had, like shooting wise. They only lost by 6.
Yeah.
So, I mean,